Good day, everybody. This is Michael Levitas from jurisq.com, and we bring you different attorneys in different practice areas to talk about the legal issues and explain them in lay person's terms. And today we have with us back our guru on immigration law, Yakov Spektor. Yakov, welcome back.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Yakov, today I want to talk to you about a topic that is very interesting. That is applicable to people who are looking for an asylum. And I understand most asylums, I guess, are political in nature. And you're going to explain to us if that's the case. And the question that arises is, what documentation, what evidence do you need to prove that you had some kind of abuse or harassment in your country where you come from? Because you told me off camera that in some countries, it's very hard to get documentation, whereas in other countries, the evidence is much more readily available. So can you give us some examples, and how would you as an attorney deal with a situation where evidence is just not there?
That's we could probably talk for hours about it, but I'll try to condense it, and maybe it's going to be useful for you listeners. Okay, if you or anyone you know is actually thinking of applying for asylum in the United States. Evidence is important. Okay, now the law says that, hey, you know what? You don't really need anything to corroborate your story. As long as a judge believes what you're saying, he can grant you asylum just on the basis of your story. Because the government understands that, hey, if you're running for your life, and asylum is essentially this, you're telling the government that you're afraid to go back to your native country because they'll kill you, they'll jail you, something bad will happen.
Right.
So they understand that if something like this is going on, you're running away. You can't exactly turn around and say, okay, you know what, give me a document that says that you are persecuting me. Okay, that's not how it works. Okay, you're saving your life. So no evidence required. But having said that, whenever I bring forth a case where someone might not have any evidence, the judge always looks at me a little funny and says, counsel, you realize that there is no corroboration in this case.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's the reality of some cases. There simply might not be anything that a person might have to corroborate his story.
Yeah, you gave me an example. I think you had a client in Africa, right, that had that issue. Can you just give us a sample?
It really breaks my heart. We are used to basically going through life with a flurry of paperwork trailing our every move. When we are born, we are issued a birth certificate. When we go to a doctor, there is doctor's notes. When our children are born, there are birth certificates that are issued in the hospital, right, or hospital records. But there is a lot of evidence, documentary evidence, that basically follows us from the day that we are born to the day that we die.
Right.
And that client of mine, he was just a farmer in Africa. When he was born, he was not given a birth certificate. When the rival tribe came in and killed his family, his parents, his children, they obviously did not give him a death certificate for the people who were killed. He had to run away. His remaining family had to hide. There was nothing really that resulted in a document that would say that. It's just his words. Okay, he traveled thousands of miles on foot, literally. Once he got to South America, he traveled on foot to safety, to be here.
What a sad story! What a sad story, but storied with a lot of heroism and perseverance, that he actually then found himself in the land of the free.
Right, and now what will happen is that his case will be heard by a judge who is used to living a life when everything is accompanied by a document, and now we would have to explain
So how would you do it?
why this person does not have anything.
Yakov,
Now,
seems like you have a very uphill battle. How would you persevere in this kind of case?
well, for every case like this, we do our own independent research. At least we try to, okay, we might not necessarily have a document that says that this is what happened to this particular person, but we show that what he's saying is indeed the truth. We might be able to find some newspaper articles saying that indeed there was a raid in that particular area and there was some intertribal warfare. We might be able to find some country conditions reports. We might be able to enlist an expert who might testify that what this person is saying is indeed the truth, in his opinion, in his expert opinion. So there are things that we can do to maximize these people's chances of potentially prevailing on their asylum claims. Now, unfortunately, it does not mean that we can win every case like this. It's it's not. These cases are not easy, but we can do something to at least make sure that this attempt at asylum is not wasted. That me as a lawyer who knows how to present these people's cases is essentially would essentially act as a translator, where I would translate this person's very compelling, very, very sad life story into the language of documents and paperwork.
Yakov, let me ask you, it looks to me almost as if to prove this kind of case, you have to rely on a lot of circumstantial evidence to present a picture for the judge. What is the standard of proof, what's called, in immigration court? Is it like in criminal where it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt, or like in a civil court where it's more likely than not?
No, so it's more like in the civil courts, thankfully, precisely for this reason. It's just, it might not be very feasible to expect, someone to prove this kind of case beyond a reasonable doubt. So there's probably been thousands of pages written on what the judges should be doing in situations like this. And some of them even said that, even if there's a 1 in 10 chance that if the judge feels that there's a 1 in 10 chance that this person's life might be in danger and that this person is believable, then maybe this person is deserving of asylum. Now, having said that, in real life, the difference between the approval rates of various judges could be a difference between basically an 80% approval rate and an 80% denial rate.
Wow.
Simply because a lot depends on the judge, on his particular outlook, on what he believes is right and wrong. And asylum is very discretionary, which means that the judge has the wide latitude whether to believe someone or not.
So, Yakov, what I see here, it really takes a very skillful and experienced attorney to prove these types of asylum cases, because you have been through in front of a lot of judges. You know their quirks, you know what they are looking for, what they believe, don't believe. And it takes a lot of creativity, because you believe your client, you know the client is telling the truth. The client, of course, knows he's telling the truth, but it is your job to also convince the court. And when you don't have the necessary evidence, because it's just not there, because of the nature of the country, you have to, like you say, use experts and really do the legwork to present almost like a slideshow, right? Almost like a whole presentation to the judge to convince him or her that this person deserves real chance to stay in America, USA, or they face danger if they go back. And we're very glad that you're one of these attorneys who can get this done using your knowledge and your experience. You know your way in and around immigration courts, and we highly recommend, if somebody is thinking of applying for an asylum, to get consultation from attorney Yakov Spektor. The phone number is in the bottom of the screen. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. And we're going to talk about many more frequently asked questions on immigration law. Thank you, Yakov, for your time. Until next time.
Thank you, Michael.
I appreciate it. Thanks.